Most overeating is subconscious and automatic. This often feels impulsive. It feels like an automatic opening the pantry door, eating a bowl, whatever's in a bowl at a party in a social setting. You often won't feel hungry. You'll feel like it just started, that it happened with an immediate response to some kind of craving. This subconscious and automatic eating can take many different examples. So an example would be you on a very restrictive diet where it doesn't offer you the framework to never have, I don't know, something silly like cookies ever again. You might have one cookie and then there might be that part of your brain that's saying, wait a second, my diet in the future doesn't allow me to have cookies. I'm going to get in as many as I can now because I can't guarantee I'll get this again. I'm already off now. You go ahead and do it. And to be fair, after a while you might be aware of the damage you're doing, but at the start it's just a subconscious thing of get in now because you can't do it later. It could look like a situation of you're bored and you just autopilot eating, and it just would have been you waiting out for a few minutes while you found something to do. You've now dabbled in food you wouldn't otherwise do. For many people, including myself at times, it could be just that situation of you haven't eaten for hours. And I'll talk to my example in a second, but the first one could be you had lunch at 1 p.m. You then enter the grocery store at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. You're quite hungry. You pick out snacks you wouldn't otherwise have. We just needed that 2 minutes of chill when you were at the checkout, not grabbing the chocolate bar. You would have been fine by the time you're in the car. It could be while you're preparing dinner. You're just munching on things because, again, it's been a long period. You just need to wait to dinner, but you're in that hungry, compromised state. It could be, and this is the example I was going to say for myself, is let's say you're at a party and you know even if it's a dinner party and you know there's gonna be like dinner at 7, just to make up an example, but you haven't eaten since lunch and there's a bunch of nibbles. There's charcuterie board, chips, lollies, whatever it is. People tend to have foods in that situation where they would just have foods to avoid being social to a small degree. There's actually studies that show people do this a lot more. They might actually really struggle as well to even quantify how much they even ate. Man, who knows how many chips out of that chip bowl you've had when you're by yourself before you chat to people versus you're chatting with friends and distracted at some good topic you guys are laughing about. It happens a lot without even being detected. First step, particularly if you're someone who's calorically minded and trying to either maintain weight or lose weight or something along those variables, is just be aware when these situations are more likely to happen. Again, the long bouts between meals, when you're stressed, when you're just bored. First thing is just acknowledging it. Then it's developing solutions for the different situations that present itself. If I'm hungry and I'm half an hour away from the meal, knowing that, hey, of course you're hungry, you haven't eaten for hours, you just need to wait that final half an hour of the meal. And guess what? If you don't nibble and stuff now, you can have way more food then or not be compromising on your caloric goals. Next, if you're dealing with some kind of stressful thing or you're just trying to get yourself away from the computer because it's an annoying part of the day, it's just recognizing that. Asking yourself, can I survive 5 minutes without going off and giving some food that won't really give the enjoyment? Because again, you got to get back to that desk anyway. And now you're dealing with the second problem of, oh my God, I've lost control and I've had more food in the day and my caloric goals are being compromised, or I get less food later. And just the truth is you just need to get through those minutes. So just addressing that, hey, this is what uncomfortableness feels like. Just sitting in that stressful bit of work for a second can lead to the rest of your day being more enjoyable. Next is knowing which time of the day it is. If you happen to notice at 5 p.m. you get munchies, but by 5:30 you're fine, just reminding yourself of that. Knowing if you're that kind of way that we described at a party, where we're so inclined to be munching things, you might grab a predefined plate of certain things. You might choose to hang out just away from that table. You might just be aware that, hey, I must be anxious eating, that's not going to help anything anyway. Next, if you're bored, and this could be just honestly pockets of 5 minutes here and there, you just need to get yourself onto the next thing. It could be you hang out the washing. It could be you clean the stove. It could be you putting your clothes out for the next day, or thinking things on the fly, but you can probably start to think through some of these things yourself. Often it's getting through that 5 minutes, the signals go away in terms of hunger and craving, and then you've done something that helps you the next day. Simple, but really big solve that actually makes a big difference, more than protein, carb, and fat ratios in meal 2. Other things you can do, you can just set a timer if you want to. Like, hey, if I'm really hungry, there's nothing wrong with eating when you're hungry at times, right? It's just the parts that just don't work within your day. It could be, if I'm still hungry in 20 minutes, go ahead and eat. But just be aware if it's one of those 5 minutes little blip in the radar ones that just might happen in the space of a caloric deficit once in a while. The thing is about doing the 5 minute rule when you're not going to be eating is those moments where you do these things, they aren't big times, but they can derail you. They can be small little things that are snacking and unsatiating, but they can be large enough to derail the long-term progress. So instead of forming these habits over time that can be quite derailing, you might just need to understand this key thing. You are only most likely 2 to 3 5-minute slots within the day away from getting results. It's not 24 hours of motivation. It's just being able to ride those 5-minute waves that might happen once or twice. You get through those 5, 10, 15 minutes of the day just with some of the solutions we've shared of waiting, of distracting yourself, of sticking with the annoying thing or getting some errand done could be the difference between you getting your results and not. It's literally 15 minutes to win. Not everything deserves an emotional response.